So here we are. Thank you so much for joining today's live stream. We are going to be watching, yes, Nancy Grace. So many of you requested this video, and I'm here for it. We have to do this because it is a new development. This video just came out yesterday, actually, right? About a day ago. And so it's something that we all want to talk about. Something so crazy. The title of this video is, let's go ahead and look at the title. It is Killer Dad, Chris Watts. Gender reveal party made me a killer. Chris Watts is claiming that the gender reveal party is what made him a killer. This man blames everybody but himself. Have you noticed? He blames Nicole Kessinger, which, you know, obviously he should because she was partially responsible for this. But he'll blame the Jezebel. He'll blame the harlot. He'll blame everyone under the moon, including Shan'ann and the girls. And now he's blaming, apparently, the gender reveal party. So, yeah, we have to obviously watch this, okay? We have to watch this. We have to listen to what they say. Now, before we do start, as we know, Nancy Grace is a little bit, maybe not fully informed on the case. I've noticed watching some of her videos, she doesn't really know what she's talking about most of the time. I mean, she does know, she has like an idea, but she's not fully, she hasn't done a full deep dive into it yet. And so very curious to see what you all have to say about this, what is going to be said. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch. And yeah, I'm going to be pausing and talking a little over it because, you know, this is owned by Nancy Grace. And so, you know, just so you know, there's going to be a lot of pausing and a lot of commentary, but that's what you're all here for. Rabbit Hole rocks. That's what everybody in the comment section is for, right? We're all here to listen to what ridiculous things Chris Watts has to say. Oh, and Mr. Butters is here, by the way. He might join us. You might see him right now. Mr. B, come on. There he is. Say hello, Mr. B. Say hello. Say hello, say hello, say hello, say hello, say hello. So yeah, he might be giving his 2 cents here. Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into Nancy Grace. Let's see what she says.
Calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine.
You have to trust me. I did nothing to them, and to my beautiful wife, I did nothing to her.
But she won't answer the door, she won't answer phone calls, she won't answer text messages.
The amount of love I have for my family is exponential, and it's never going to die.
My daddy is a hero.
I had nothing to do with the disappearance.
My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. He helped me snuggle too. He reads me books. He ties my shoes. If you're a hero, blue and blue, my daddy is love you.
Bella and Celeste dead, their bodies shoved into these thin cylindrical oil containers out in the middle of Anadarko oil fields where Chris Watts' killer dad worked tonight. We are learning more about what pushed killer dad Chris Watts over the edge, a gender.
What pushed him over the edge? He wasn't pushed over the edge at all. Here, I need to clean Mr. B's eye. He struggles to clean his own face sometimes. But yeah, there's nothing that pushed him over the edge. The only thing that pushed him was Nicole Kessinger, right? And here we go. The gender reveal party. I really want to hear what Cheryln Cadle says that Chris Watts is saying now, because there was nothing that pushed him anywhere other than wanting to be with his new mistress. It's so ridiculous that he's saying that he snapped. Oh, I snapped because of a gender reveal party that I didn't want to have. Are you serious, guy? What, you can't just ask for a divorce? Maybe say, I don't want this gender reveal party? Oh my goodness. Yeah, exactly, Eric Isa. He was obsessed with NK. And I'm really curious to hear what is going to be said about Nicole Kessinger, I've noticed, this is just something, an observation I've made, that especially Nancy Grace and other networks, they don't really talk about Nicole Kessinger. I do see that they mention her as maybe part of the culprit, but not the full responsibility, right? They don't give her the full credit that she deserves, which is she was the main reason that drove Chris to do this. And I'm very curious to hear if they're going to mention Nicole Kessinger here at all. Let's continue.
Reveal party. This is, we also learned that Shan'ann struggled to get pregnant. She had a rare disease that seemingly precluded her from ever getting pregnant again.
Yeah.
And then after a long struggle, she conceives.
Yeah,
then
lupus.
just after the gender reveal party invites go out, suddenly we uncover Ted.
She's so beautiful. I love this picture of her. Oh my God, look at Cece. She's so cute. Look at how beautiful Shanann was. I mean, she's gorgeous. Oh God, Chris is so stupid. Chris, what, for a brown bikini from Walmart, that's what he liked. Oh, I love Walmart, and my favorite color is brown. We have matching middle names. Oh my God, I'm in love. That is what he fell in love with? Look at how beautiful, driven, ambitious she was, right? What a good wife, good cook, good baker, everything. Everything that she had that Nicole Kessinger didn't have, which is, again, my opinion, but that's why I think that Nicole Kessinger was super jealous of her and envious because she couldn't be Shanann. Let's continue.
Texts from Shanann Watts to her friend. Let's see the text where she describes how her husband, so-called killer dad, Chris Watts, no longer wants the baby. I haven't slept most of the week. My eyes burn from crying so much. I canceled the gender reveal. Nikki's going to tell me today the gender of the baby. I need happy news right now.
This is one of the most heartbreaking text messages that I've read from Shanann, because she had an entire gender reveal party, everything ready for the baby that Chris wanted. Remember, Chris was the one who asked for the baby. He requested having a baby. She was the one who had to agree, right? Because she's the one who's putting her body through that. And so she's like, yeah, let's go ahead and have a baby. And so can you imagine the heartbreak of being told that you want to have a baby, you want to bring a new baby boy into this earth, and then all of a sudden, the same man that told you, I want this baby, is telling you, actually, never mind. I'm not feeling it anymore. I actually am okay with just 2 kids. Is it too late to change your mind? Oh my God. Come on. This wasn't, they weren't purchasing like a new VCR, right? Oh my goodness. What year are we in? Do people even know? I'm sure people in the chat know what a VCR is. I'm not that old. But like, she's not purchasing a VCR from Kmart, right? This is a child. You can't just decide, oh, never mind. I changed my mind. Is it too late? What?
I said to him, how is this? A few months. We were so intimate and what I thought in love when I left. He said he had a lot of time to think. This baby in my belly deserves his full love either way. He came in the room and said, you think it would be a great thing to have another baby?
What? You think it would be a great thing to have a... Yes! Oh. Yeah, everyone's like... Yeah, a VCR. You guys remember that? Ages ago, right? Ages ago. It's up there with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Definitely. The last time I saw a VCR was actually at a museum, believe it or not. I'm like, oh my God, this is so ancient. I'm surprised my face wasn't up there, right next to the VCR. This is what 90s girls look like. Right? Me right next to the VCR. Yeah, I just aged myself. I miss VCRs, don't we? Do we miss VCRs? I really liked the sound of putting a a VHS into the VCR. You know how it goes in and it goes and it takes it and then it's like and then you see dun, 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 dun. I liked that. I really, really missed that. It was just so satisfying to be able to put a VHS into your VCR, especially when it was new. You remember the rewind button, you press it and it goes and you're waiting for like 10 minutes. You go back and you're like, "Ugh, Titanic is still not fully rewound. Come on. How long is this movie? Yeah, it's 3 hours. That's why it took longer than 10 minutes to rewind." You remember that? Now we just click around. We're like, "Ugh, I don't like the beginning. I want to see Jack when he goes all the way down to the bottom of the ocean." So you just click fast forward and you're there. Times have changed, guys. It's definitely a different time. What year are we in? All right, let's continue.
We talked it out a lot beforehand and we agreed to do this. You were so excited and happy. The friend says, "I think he'll come to his senses and feel like an ass in a few months."
Ugh.
Shan'ann, I grabbed his hand during the ultrasound and he didn't grab back. The friend sends a crying
The ultrasound. Let's go ahead and pull up our calendar. I know that we're watching Nancy Grace and all, but we also have our own calendar, right? Let's go ahead and pull up our calendar. So the ultrasound was actually when they got back from North Carolina, which is right here, right? So right here. So on the 8th, on August 8th, Chris and Shanann went to the ultrasound together. And look at that. It's also the same day that Chris Watts canceled his Facebook page. It's also the same day that Chris Watts changed his background photo, right? His background photo. I have my cats, right? I have my cats as my background photo, but he changed it from his kids' photos to the sand dunes. He's like, "Oh, I just like the way that the sand looks. Did you know my favorite color is beige? I love the color of sand, so vibrant, just like my soul." So that's why he changed it apparently to the dunes. And look at this. It's also the same day that Nicole Kessinger gives him a key to her apartment. You know how Chris says, "Oh, I know that she was in love with me because she gave me a key to her apartment." Yeah, but did he know that she also gave Jim a key to her apartment? What an idiot. And then we see Nicole Googles Chris, right? He Googles, "Will my boyfriend marry a mistress? I am the mistress in a relationship. Is he going to marry me and leave his wife?" You know, those kinds of ridiculous questions. So all of that was happening on the same day as this. As Shanann texting, "I grabbed his hand during the ultrasound and he didn't grab it back." It is so, reading her text messages, again, it is heartbreaking. It's something that I do because, it obviously we have to look at the entire case, but it's so hard to read through without wanting to cry because you really feel the pain that she was going through. We don't even have to see her face. We don't have to see, we don't even have to hear her voice. We can see it with the words that she uses. We can feel it through the text. Ugh. What do you guys think? Chris Watts said both he thought that he had a good marriage and they had issues for 6 years. Yeah, his brain is scrambled. Exactly. How can he have a good marriage but also I'm just not that happy? I am internally dissatisfied. Yeah, but I'm also the least attractive of the two, so I don't know. Can I leave? He looks back to his stupid his I'm like, where's the camera? Oh, here it is. He goes back to his stupid presentation from his community college where he talks about the more attractive person leaving. Ugh, he's so ridiculous. Anyway, let's continue.
emoji. Shanann, I cringed. He rejected sex the night we arrived here. Only thing I can think of, even though I don't think he has it in him, is another girl. Chris told me last night he's scared to death about this third.
That part where Shanann says that he doesn't or she doesn't think that he has it in him, that the irony, right? The irony of that, because the thing is, no one thought that Chris had it in him because he was so passive, so quiet, so introverted that no one actually thought the man was capable of any of the things that he did. And that's the scary part, I think, about this entire case is that Chris displayed, right? The person that he pretended to be was what people believe to be the perfect husband, right? Everything that he showed, he was, by all accounts, the perfect husband and the perfect father. But internally, he was a little psychopath the whole time. He didn't actually care about his family. He just pretended. Oh my God, that is scary. That is scarier than any horror film I've ever watched. Let's continue.
Baby, and he's happy with just Bella and Celeste and doesn't want another baby. He only says just he loves the kids. Did he say he loves you? No. He asked me if the kids could go see his parents. I said, no, I'm standing my ground. They haven't made contact in 4 weeks. No show to her birthday party.
Wow.
These texts are
Wow.
hard.
And this part too, because Chris only ever talked about the girls. Oh, I love them. Oh, let me not even say I love them because he didn't actually say that, okay? He would say things like, they are the light of my life. I want them to barrel rush me. They are my world. They mean everything to me. They're the light of my life, right? You believe me. Very ridiculous. These one-liners, right? Like, oh, you're the light of my life. Oh, please. Nothing he actually says he meant. And it's very obvious because he never even said, I love you. But yeah, every time that he talked to Shanann, it was always about the girls. He pretended to love the girls and not her, which is just so cruel. He is so cruel. Oh, do we have a, oh, we do. We have a troll. Yeah, it looks like we have a troll in our chat, but he's gone. Awesome. The troll is gone. All right. Thank you for explaining. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, again, what in the world? Chris is, he's so cruel. Let's continue.
Breaking. We have also managed to dig up her little party that she had planned. And to Cheryln and Cadle joining me, author of a brand new book, Christopher Watts, A Failed Life. She interviewed Watts ad nauseum. I don't know how you did that. You must have held your nose. Still in contact with him. Her other book, The Murders of Christopher Watts.
She must have held her nose. I mean, how do you? How do you go and visit that potato head every single day? Imagine you go and you're visiting Chris Watts and you're like, hi, I'm here to see Chris Watts. And then you just see a big potato head floating with spinny eyeballs. And you're like, what in the world? And yeah, because I think he really does look like a huge potato head with eyeballs. Thank you so much, Dragon Onion. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Last time someone called me the light of their life, I shattered the light bulb. It's just so fake. Yeah, it is. It is. Who says that? If they don't actually love you and show you that they love you, telling you, oh, you're the light of my life. I mean, that is just a one-liner. That is something that you see in a Hallmark card. It takes no effort. You just walk down Walmart and you're like, what compliment should I give my wife today? Oh, here, let me take this one. Your face looks like a rainbow. I think that's cute. Let me tell my wife that her face looks like a rainbow. What? Is that even a compliment? What does that mean? Am I vibrant? Am I all colorful? Am I bipolar? Like, what does this mean? My God. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. That's the thing with this man is that he he came up with all kinds, especially with his letters to Nicole Kassinger, right? He came up with these little one-liners himself with Nicole Kassinger. Every time that we look at the actual love letters that he sent to her, they're all one-liners. Oh, you are so energetic. You make my car go vroom. Like, what? You gas me up. You light me up. You put gas in my ignition. So ridiculous. All of them are just NASCAR references. All right, let's continue. Mr. Butters is being a little fidgety. I think he wants to get comfortable, but he doesn't know how. Mr. B, we're in the middle of a live stream. Let's continue.
Watts and the many faces of Christopher Watts. You know, Cheryl, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Sure.
I am looking over her receipts and it's breaking my heart. She had the whole party arranged. She went to Whole Foods. She had edible arrangements. You know what those are? That's when they put like fruit on a stick in little
Okay.
shapes. She had already bought the flower arrangements at Longmont Florist. I'm looking at her receipts right now. She went to Party City and bought all the decorations.
Oh my God. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at these receipts. Yeah, if you can see, Mr. Butters is kind of just, this is what he's going for, if you guys can see. This is what he's going for. He's going for the eyeballs. He sees the Chris Watts eyeballs and he's like, I want those. Maybe I can put them on him. Yeah, that is what he's going after. And yeah, he just wants to play with them. It's one of his favorite hobbies is just climbing up here and knocking everything over. So you'll probably see that happen. If my live stream disconnects, it's probably because he pulled the cable. You know, typical Mr. B. He just does it. It's, yeah, he's such a good boy. But yeah, look at this. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at the receipts. So on August 4th, Shan'ann purchased edible arrangements. On August 7th, Longmont Florist, Party City on the same day, and on the same day, Costco. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull up our calendar. Let's look at the dates 4 and 7. Okay, so on the 4th, right? So on the 4th, that was beach day. Look at this, beach day. So on beach day, she ordered the edible arrangements. So it looks like she ordered them online while they were still at beach day. It was also the same day that Nicole Kassinger checks Chris Watts and Shan'ann and their Facebook. It is also when Nicole Kassinger Googles dresses for 2 hours, wedding dresses. Okay, wedding dresses. Yeah. The mistress who said, oh, I didn't know that he was married, is saying that she wants to buy wedding dresses for 2 hours. Now, who was she going to marry? Right? Who's she going to marry? Was she looking up these wedding dresses for her friend? No, I doubt it. But look at everything that's happening on the same day that Shan'ann is purchasing the edible arrangements. And on the 7th was the same day that they returned from North Carolina. That was the same day that she was purchasing the rest of the stuff for the baby shower. And on the following day, I mean, God, Chris couldn't even wait, right? Chris and I should say Nicole couldn't wait for them to get back because she immediately gave him a key. So yeah, when we've talked about deadlines, right? We talked about deadlines in the past, and we believe, or at least I believe, that the reason that Chris murdered his family on the 13th was because there was a very strict deadline. That deadline was don't go back to work. Don't have Shan'ann have the baby shower the baby shower and the gender reveal. Don't let her, don't let your kids go back to school. A lot of things were happening during this week that would have solidified, right? It would have solidified the events for the family, for the Watts family at that time. Shan'ann, Bella, Cece, and little baby Nico. And so that is what I believe, that it had to happen on this day before the family went back to, their regular routine, their regular everyday schedule as a family with kids, as they were. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Eric Issa. Thank you. Mr. B, celebrate. Oh, he's sleeping. I was gonna ask Mr. B to celebrate, but he's taking a little nap right now. Poor thing, my baby. He just woke up from sleeping. He's so tired. All right, Eric Issa says, Chris Watts cared only about his self-image, never showed love or any emotion, was only words without any action and no true expressions or feelings. Exactly. Zero emotion. He was just a man walking around with a mask with a smiley face that said, "Hi, I'm a dad." But he never actually cared about his family. Do we have glory hole on the chat, guys? Is that what's happening? Do we have somebody saying, "Oh my God, why are you being so hateful?" Right? I mean, we're looking at the calendar. I'm pulling up the calendar for a reason. Just look at it. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Why is a girl so full of hostile? What? Doesn't even make sense. Who's full of hostile? That sentence doesn't even make sense. Okay. But yeah, look at this entire planning on the day that they got back from North Carolina. So if that doesn't tell you that they were on a strict deadline, again, I don't know what does. What do you guys think? Thank you guys so much. Yes, thank you so much to my moderators. Thank you, Tootsie Pop, Tammy, Just Josie's, all you guys. If I missed one of you guys, please, I'm not doing it on purpose. VW Beep, thank you guys so much. You moderators, amazing. You guys are awesome. Yeah, we'll sometimes get, one of the little twats trolls on here, but it's fine, whatever. They can say whatever they want. But, let's just go ahead and block them because they're getting too insane. If they get too crazy and too disrespectful, please, you guys know what to do. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
She bought fruit and cheese and all sorts of food at Costco. It just, I don't know. It just hurts to see how excited she was, Cheryln, and in her excitement about the gender reveal party, and she'd already bought everything for it.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying about the text messages. The text messages alone tell you how excited she was. She was super excited for the baby and the gender reveal party and everything. Having her friends around, having everybody celebrate that they were having a boy, something that Chris wanted so badly. And she's even purchasing everything for it. And then Chris just kills his family. Oh my God. Look at the rest of the purchases. There's King Soopers, Netflix, and a payment that was received on the 11th for $500. Minus $500. I wonder, do we know what this last payment is? That was on the 11th. It's something that I'll definitely have to look into because the 11th, look at this. It was Saturday. Saturday, the 11th, which was a very, very busy day. Lazy Dog, Nicole Kessinger Googles Saratoga. She Googles, backdoor twister with 3 people, right? 3 players involved. Shan'ann also asked Chris Watts to lock the office. So I wonder, what is the $500 for? Do we know? You guys? Aw, see you later, Britt. See ya. Thanks for joining. Girls' school, maybe? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it could be the girls' school, right? $500, and it's a payment received, so it was taken out and given to someone. But let's continue.
It just hurts to see how excited she was, Cheryln, and in her excitement about the gender reveal party, and she'd already bought everything for it. And then he says he doesn't want the baby. What happened?
Well,
Well, Nicole Kessinger happened. Let's go ahead and see what she says.
Actually, what happened is his girlfriend, he felt like he wanted another life.
Yes. 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 That's what happened. Nicole Kessinger happened, and he wanted a new life.
He was happy when Shanann left, and that's about the time he started talking with his girlfriend, Nikki. And by the time they had 6 weeks to spend together, he didn't want his family anymore. It was
6
turned
weeks.
Hold on
into,
just a minute. Let me understand.
6 weeks, and he didn't want his family anymore. 6 weeks. Wow. Going down at -2 miles an hour down a hill was so exhilarating for him, apparently, that he's like, yeah, I don't want my family anymore. Oh my God. This is so unbelievable.
And as you said, when Shanann left, where did Shanann go, Cheryln Cadle?
she went to North Carolina to visit her family and his family, just to spend some summer time with them, take the girls for a few weeks and spend time
Oh, so cute. Ugh.
with the grandparents. It was a very innocent
Okay, let
trip.
me
She just,
understand this too. Dr. Cheryln Utter joining us, clinical psychologist specializing in psychological evaluations within the justice system.
Oh, perfect. I love that they have a psychologist. Let's hear what she says. I love listening to psychologists and like people who have experience and knowledge when it comes to behavioral analysis and stuff like that, because again, we're trying to get to the bottom of the case. Like what drove this otherwise, introverted, quiet guy into annihilating an entire family. We sit here and suspect that he was a psychopath, he was a sociopath, he was this, that, and the other thing. But really, listening to an expert talk about it, it just gives us better insight. And then we can definitely keep calling him a sociopath, at least with more validation.
Author of Mainlining Philly, author of Aftershock, How Past Events Shake Up Your Life Today, and producer of Utter Nonsense, a documentary. Dr. Cheryln, thanks for being with us. So she takes the children, Shanann takes the children for a vacation. She's back in a few weeks, and in a few weeks' time, he's completely forgotten about the family and wants to be with his lover and wants to get rid of the baby.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I know it sounds outrageous. You would think most people would just opt for something called divorce or separation, but it's
Yeah. Yeah, most people would opt for divorce or separation. Most people would not annihilate their whole family. One by one. One by one.
clear that there was what we call like a psychological detachment. So he had been over that 6-week period fantasizing about this new life with this new woman. And what happens a
Yep.
lot of times, or in this particular case, is he started to look at his family more or less as an obstacle.
Yes. Yes. This is exactly it. This is exactly it. He started to see his family as an obstacle. His family was an obstacle. It's not even, it's not even that he just all of a sudden despised his family. No, it's that he never truly loved them, right? You can't just dispose of somebody overnight because someone new comes in. If you truly don't love someone, they are easily disposable. And that's exactly what his family was to him. His family was easily disposable. That's why he did the things that he did without any remorse. He only cared about the family when he didn't have any other interests. But as soon as a new interest came into his life, the narcissistic side of Chris decided, oh, they are an obstacle for the things that I want because my life is so important. Me, 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 me. That is what a narcissist thinks of every single time. A narcissist will only think about what is better for me. They won't think about other people. He didn't even think about his family as individuals, as individual people who had an entire future ahead of them. He saw them as someone who was just there for him when he needed it. Some people who benefited him at that time in his life. And when he no longer found any use for them, he completely just tossed them like trash. That is so crazy and dangerous. This is a dangerous man. He was so scary. Let's continue.
And not as something that he wanted to be a part of anymore. He was completely entrenched in this fantasy life. And as time progressed, he became more resentful of the fact that he had a family, and he started to compartmentalize. So you start to separate the two worlds.
Yep.
And the one world was his previous family, and now this new world is this woman and this relationship, and that's what he wanted. So
Yeah.
you know, as you read the text messages, him refusing to hold her hand, him refusing to give her a hug, it's very clear that he started to literally emotionally and psychologically detach from the relationship
Yeah.
because he was focused on being with this other woman.
Right. And the thing is that he was able to do it too because they were out of sight, out of mind. Remember, Chris Watts mentions this to the investigators who came over while he was already in Wisconsin. He mentioned this. He mentions this to them as well. He tells them that a part of the reason why he wasn't able to really see his family as people anymore was because he was so detached from them, because he spent the entire month of July with Nicole Kessinger. He said it himself. Oh, out of sight, out of mind. He also said that he never even spent time at home anymore. He never went back to his house. He only went back to shower, maybe get some fresh clothes. That's about it. Oh, and feed Dieter. Okay, feed Dieter. He even forgot about the dog. Oh my God. I mean, can you imagine? He probably even forgot the dog. He probably only remembered that Dieter was there when he heard him barking. God. But yeah, that's what he's doing, right? The whole time, the entire month of July, he was distancing himself from his family. They were out of sight, out of mind, and he had all the time to really dive into this new relationship that he was in with Nicole Kessinger. Very new, right? Very, very, very early on. They were in the honeymoon phase, which again, I don't think it was ever going to work. But what do you guys think? I don't think it was ever going to work. I think most of us agree that that relationship was not going to work past maybe even 6 months. And that's being generous. Let's continue.
Compartmentalize. I don't know, Dr. Cheryln Utter, you make it sound so normal. He compartmentalized. It seems to me like he cheated on his wife and wanted her to get rid of the baby Nico, their first baby boy.
Absolutely, he did. But when I say this, I'm not saying it casually, and I don't want to come off as thinking that, psychology explains this. I mean, Chris Watts is clearly a very disturbed individual. I don't want to take away from that. What he did is not the norm. But when you analyze his behavior, and I'm sure, Cheryl knows this more than anyone, that's exactly what he did. In his mind, in his psyche, he separated. He separated his one life that he had that he didn't want anymore and went in this direction and completely emotionally detached.
And see, the thing is that it didn't take much for him to be able to do that. And that's why we're still stuck on this case. It's because it did not really take that much. 6 weeks, guys, 6 weeks. His entire marriage with his wife, almost 8 years. He threw away 8 long years for 6 weeks of fun, 6 weeks of Twister, 6 weeks of the car museum, 6 weeks of, getting exfoliation treatment at the sand dunes. That is what he traded his whole family for. 6 weeks of fun. And according to Chris Watts himself, it wasn't even fully fun. A lot of the relationship with Nicole Kessinger, let's go ahead and pull up our calendar, shall we? We're pulling up the calendar every step that we get. When we look at the calendar, very early on in the relationship, they were already fighting. This was very toxic from the beginning because obviously, how is it not going to be toxic? When you enter a relationship through infidelity, it's gonna be toxic. Sometimes it works out, but it's very rare. Very, very rare. I haven't seen it myself. Um, I think if we can Google it, we can probably see statistically where these relationships, how long they last when it comes to infidelity. But for the most part, they're not going to last because there's already this idea that there's just no trust, right? If you're going into a relationship and you're cheating, there's already a lack of trust. So it's not going to last at all. And we already saw this with their relationship. They started talking, the second week of June? And then by the first week of July, Nicole Kessinger was already having her little temper tantrums. Oh my God. Did you see this? Look at that. NK birthday. And, my Google Calendar is celebrating her birthday. What in the world? Hey, Nikki. It's your birthday, Nikki. Or whatever Chris Watts said to her. But yeah, look at this. They're already fighting. Very, very, very early on, Chris is already having to talk her off a ledge. What he says, I had to talk her off a ledge. Oh, please. Let's continue.
From the family, which provided him the opportunity to engage in such a violent act. Again, Chris Watts, as far as I know and I've studied, was not an outwardly violent individual. This was something that was clearly premeditated because they were an obstacle. They were no longer a family he wanted. He wanted to get rid of them. And that's exactly what he started to do emotionally in order to be able to, complete such a heinous act.
Yeah.
We did it again. I like that shirt. Really?
Really?
That's awesome. So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome.
He's so fake. That's awesome. That's the only word that he has in his vocabulary. That's awesome. That one and like. Oh, and apparently, you're so damn sexy. Whatever he calls Nicole Kessinger. Oh, and sexy empanada. Very, very limited vocabulary this man has. But yeah, everything is so fake.
That sure sounded half-hearted. That's awesome. Okay, straight out to Dave Mack. Dave Mack joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter. We are now learning about claims that a gender reveal party pushed killer dad Chris Watts over the edge. Like, is that some type of a defense? I didn't.
How did he get pushed over the edge with a gender reveal party? That makes no sense.
I want the gender reveal party. I couldn't take the stress, so my only alternative was to kill my wife and children.
Nancy, at this point, everything that comes out of that man's mouth is just ridiculous. But yeah, that is what is being suggested now, is that, think about it, Nancy, on August 7th, Shan'ann is so excited about the gender reveal party and finding out the gender of the baby that she spends $860 on party supplies, the cake, cookies, all of this stuff. That's a lot of money for a gender reveal party. But
yeah. I mean, look at that. They pulled up the receipts again. She was very, very excited about this gender reveal party that never happened.
Nancy, that's August 7th, the very next day. She cancels the party. They had 50 people that were already invited. She disinvited them on the very next day. Not even 24 hours after buying all of this stuff, she cancels the gender reveal party. So what took place on August the 7th into August the 8th? Well, apparently that's where Chris Watts decided, I don't want another baby. I'm good with Celeste and Bella.
I don't know, except they're wrong. I don't think, looking at the actual timeline of the case, Chris definitely planned to annihilate his family way before the 7th and the 8th, right? He planned to annihilate his family way before they got back from North Carolina. The planning really begun around this time, right? Once we see that Chris Watts is doing a lot of weird activities, right? We see, we see the boots, right? He got a brand new pair of boots. We see that he's calling Vivint a lot. We see that he's messing with the garage door. This is really when that started to happen. It wasn't the 7th or the 8th. The 7th or the 8th was actually when Chris was getting closer to finalizing the plans, but the plans were already in effect. He was already thinking about killing his family way before the 7th and the 8th. But I do understand what he's saying, although I do disagree with him just based on the own research that we've done. Let's continue.
The shocking truth, Nancy, is that we know what took place after the fact, but all I'm picturing in my head every time we do this is little Bella singing the hero song and what he does to his wife and his girls
Yeah.
in real time, August 7th and 8th to the 13th.
My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. He helped me snuggle too. He reads me books. He ties my shoes. If you're a hero, blue and blue, my daddy is love you.
I mean,
I don't even think he got to see that video. I really don't think he ever really got to watch this. I think Shan'ann sent it to him, but he didn't even look at it. He was too busy with Nicole Kessinger. And also, my opinion, by this time, he didn't really care. I mean, we saw the way that he acted at the beach, and he didn't want his family. He was very distant. He was barely touching them. He was just kind of hanging out. He's like, yeah, the whole time in his brain thinking about, I need to get back to Nicole Kessinger. I need to text her. Is she mad at me? Is she going to break up with me? All kinds of ideas, right? Because at the same time, Nicole Kessinger was sending him nudes and he kept hiding them in the secret calculator app. Let's continue.
And blue, my daddy is love you.
I mean, Cheryln and Cadle, the embarrassment that Shan'ann must have suffered when she has to call all her friends and call off the gender reveal.
I'm sure she was embarrassed, but honestly, I think Shanann was just totally blindsided that something had really changed in her husband. I mean, when she was away at her parents' towards the end of that time, she would try to call Christopher and she couldn't get a hold of him. She felt something was wrong. By this time, she was 4 months pregnant, had gotten through a lot of morning sickness, was starting to feel better, was happy to come home and spend time with him. And all that while, he was literally planning in his head what he could do to get rid of them. And I wanted to say one thing.
And that's the cruelest part about this whole thing is that the whole time, Chris just made it seem like it was all her fault. He never even voiced that he was unhappy. He never voiced anything. He just kept telling her, oh, everything's okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's probably, it's probably that I'm just not getting enough sleep. Oh, it's probably that I'm just probably too dialed in on my macros. I'm just not getting enough calories, right? He came up with all kinds of ridiculous reasons for not wanting to talk to her, when in reality, he could have just told her, hey, I'm not into you anymore. I have another girlfriend. I don't want to be with you. But no, he ended up gaslighting is really what he did. He gaslit Shan'ann until he murdered her. That is why this murder was so vicious, is because she didn't even see it coming. She had no idea. We still, to this day, we have no idea how he even killed her, because Shan'ann would have fought back and she didn't. What do we think about this? She had her suspicions. Yeah, she was holding it together. She tried her best to make it work. Unfortunately, he didn't tell her. Yeah, he should have had the balls. Just got a divorce. Exactly. That's what's so cruel about this, and that is what is so heartbreaking about seeing those text messages. It's because she really had no idea. She was putting in all of the work, putting in the effort, getting the books, what is it? Even booking trips, right? She was booking trips to Aspen, doing everything in her power to try and get Chris to meet her halfway. And he just went along with it. He just played with her emotions. He's just like, "Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure, we can go to Aspen." She even asked him, "What do you want for dinner? I'll cook you dinner. What do you want?" And he says, "Green beans." Even that, right? He could have said, you know what? I want expired mushrooms." He could have said something else, but no, he's like, "I want green beans, my favorite." He's just dragging her along. It is so sad. Ugh, God. He's so terrible. Let's continue.
Not to blame his girlfriend. This is not what I mean. But about a week before Shanann came home, he had his girlfriend to his house, and they were talking about having a family someday.
Yeah.
And she told him, "I want to have your first son." And I think that had a lot to do with, in his head, why he all of a sudden didn't want the son he had coming. If it had been another girl, he might have been different. He also had been told by his family
Yep.
that he didn't need another one. It was too much.
Wait, what? Whoa. What was that? Wait. What was that Chris's family that told him? "Oh, you don't need another baby. It's too much." By his family, I mean Cindy and Ronnie? Is that who said that? Let's listen to that again.
He also had been told by his family that he didn't need another one. It was too much.
What?
That he didn't really want.
What do you mean he didn't need another one? It's too much. If he was thinking of having a baby with his mistress, well, then that's a third baby. So that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Chris Watts was planning on having another baby with his mistress. So how is it too much? What in the world? And why are Ronnie and Cindy telling him, "Oh, don't have another baby. 2 is too much"? Have we read Cindy Watts's book? Cindy Watts mentions in her entire book that she loves children. "I love children." If you've ever had children, if you've ever held a child, you love them so much. All you want to do is comfort them and hold them. "Oh, I love children." And here she's saying, "Oh, no, don't have any more children. You don't need children. Too many. You don't need another. Nah. Children, I only like them on occasion." Wow. This is new. This is new. I had never heard this before. If his family really said that, that's bad. That is so mean. That is so cruel. What a terrible thing to say. "Oh, don't have another. You already have too many." What?
Oh, hold on just a moment. You said, "I don't want to blame the girlfriend." Let me understand something, Cheryln Cadle. Didn't the other girlfriend know he was married with 2 children?
Yeah.
She did, absolutely. But she was also
Then
being told,
what
according
is
to
the
her,
problem with blaming her?
well,
Exactly. 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 What's the problem? What's the problem? I mean, we have a lot of information on Nicole Kessinger, right? We have done our very own deep dives here, and we have come to the conclusion that she was more involved than she said she was. But even if she wasn't as involved as she was, even if she didn't lie and delete all her text messages and completely just intervene in the entire investigation, even if she only knew that Chris was married, that is enough. That is way more than enough to blame her because, again, Chris Watts annihilated his family for a mistress, for her. And her knowing makes it so much worse. So that's a very good question that Nancy Grace asked. Why can't we blame her? Why are we not able to talk about Nicole Kessinger, especially because she knew that Chris was married from the very beginning? Now, we know, right? There's definitely way more than she did, that she lied about, but you know, it's a very fair question to ask.
Well, according to her, which I think that she's pretty naive to not realize that that's probably what every man tells a woman when he's having an affair with her. But according to Christopher, he had told her that they were getting separated and probably divorced. So
Mm.
he also told his girlfriend that he was living in the basement, that when he was home, he would take care of the children, then he would go downstairs to sleep. And that did happen a couple of times, I think, but that's not how things really were.
Nicole Kessinger wasn't naive. She's not naive. What? She was not naive at all. She knew everything. She knew the whole thing. She was the one who planned the whole thing, in my opinion. That's what I think, based on the evidence. She was the one who drove him to do this. But Cheryln Cadle saying, you know, she was very naive. She just didn't know. She's so dumb. Have you seen any of the videos? Have you seen the way that she talks to Kevin Kovac? She doesn't even know how to turn on her Wi-Fi. Oh, she was just so naive. She doesn't even know what day it is. Yeah, did you know? If she goes to sleep and she wakes up and it's daytime, then it's the next day. But if she doesn't sleep and she wakes up and it's still nighttime, it's the previous day. Oh, she's so naive. It helped. I guess it worked. It worked for some people. Some people really do believe that Nicole Kessinger was very naive. Oh, she's just dumb. Oh, she was just tricked by this genius of a cheater. Yeah, Chris Watts, he's such a genius. Oh, please. Yeah, exactly, Shelley. Yeah, calculated. 100% calculated. Let's continue.
So, it's definitely, to me, it's a mix of her pulling him, because she was pulling him to her. And I don't believe she meant for him to kill his family, but I think she said, get rid of Shanann, get rid of the family, and come with me. I don't think she meant kill them. I think she probably meant leave them. But he's very simple-minded.
He is very simple-minded. He's a simpleton. Very, very much. Again, because he's such a simpleton, though, it's very hard to believe that he took it upon himself, that he took the initiative to kill his family without even letting her know about it. If you know Chris Watts, right, if you have followed this case from the beginning and you've done a deep dive into Chris Watts and who he is as a person, you would know that there is no way that this man it just appeared in his head to plan this magically without Nicole Kessinger knowing. I mean, to be able to do this and have it done the way that it was done without her knowing is almost impossible. It very, very is. It is almost impossible for him to have done all of this without Nicole Kessinger knowing, especially when you have a list of all of the phone conversations that they had with one another. Okay, even just looking at the patterns of Nicole Kessinger's phone logs, you can tell that she definitely was very aware that something was going to happen that morning, whether it was an annihilation or whether it was him breaking up with her. She was aware that that morning something was going to happen because look, no communication for the first time ever. They always communicated, always, every single time. If they weren't working together, if they weren't hanging out, if they weren't at the sand dunes or camping, they were calling each other. But they didn't talk to each other coincidentally. Very, very coincidentally, right? They didn't talk to each other on the morning of the murders. What a coincidence. Oh, that's nothing, though. That's just a coincidence. Let's not even look at that. Let's ignore it. Close your eyes. Don't look at it.
When it comes to things like this, he's been used to doing whatever the women in his life tell him to do. It's like he couldn't think on his own. And I know that sounds like excuses.
That's trying to sound like it's the women in his life's fault, and it's not. It's his fault. You've spoken so many hours with so-called killer dad Chris Watts.
So I do agree with this, right? The thing is, Cheryln Cadle has been writing books about Chris Watts. She has visited him. She has had, one-on-one communication with the guy. So she knows exactly how he is. And what she said is very accurate. It's exactly what we've all been saying since day one, that Chris Watts is so passive and he's such a simple guy that he doesn't take initiative. He needs another woman, a stronger woman, to lead him to do things. And so Cheryln Cadle herself is saying, yeah, Chris Watts has always needed the help of women to push him along. That tells us that he also needed push from Nicole Kessinger to murder his family. And what Nancy Grace brings up, I do, I do see that, right? Because of course, it's not all the women's fault. It's not all Cindy's fault. It's not all Nicole Kessinger's fault. It's not all, whoever else he likes to blame, right? It's not all fully their fault. Of course, Chris Watts is a grown man. He had every chance to just leave, get divorced, right? But there's definitely the understanding of the influence that these women had over him that we can't ignore. Obviously, we can't take the blame away from Chris. He did what he did. He's an evil, psychotic monster. But the influence of these women is something that we just can't ignore. It has to be talked about, especially if we want to learn more about his psyche and the reason that he did it. And if we are to prevent future tragedies like this happening, right? Noticing the subtle changes in your spouse, right? Noticing like, it's so weird. You're not talking to me anymore. Is there another woman? What's going on? Are you mentally not there? All of these things help us understand maybe things into the future, right? So for everyone who says, oh, this case happened 10 years ago, ignore it. Let's not even talk about it. No, it's a cautionary tale, if anything. We should talk about it. Everyone should learn about this because it can happen. What do we think? What do we think? See ya, KTD. Thanks for joining. Take care. Yes, yeah. Nancy can see through NK at that point. I think so too. I agree. 100% Nicole's creepy ass is watching. My number one fan. You just hear beep in the background. She's watching my live streams and she's telling her cousin, hey, cousin, shut up. Beep. I'm trying to watch Rabbit Hole Rocks talk about me. Beep. All the while, she's secretly stealing batteries so that she can pawn them later on. Let's continue.
And it's my understanding he explained to you about a big argument they had right before she went on the trip.
Yes, they had Shanann. Well, it was right when she came home from the trip, I think. I have to look back at my letters, but she had suspected that something was going on. And he walked up to the bedroom. They got into an argument, and she said, I hope whoever this is, they're worth it. You've got beautiful children. We have another one on the way. And now this, what's going on? I hope that they're worth it. And she took a pillow and shoved it at him and said, get out of the room.
Wow.
And so he went downstairs and got on the phone with his girlfriend. So it's just, he had no intentions of staying with Shanann.
No, he didn't. Even what Cheryln Cadle just mentioned right now, what she explained to me sounds like he was purposely trying to get under Shanann's skin so that she can tell him, get away from me, go away, don't talk to me. And so that Chris can be like, oh, okay. And then he would go downstairs to the basement. It was an excuse. This is something that he was doing on purpose. Asking her all these kinds of questions. Are you sure? Is it okay? Are you sure we're going to be happy with another baby? Just so that Shanann can be like, leave me alone. And then he can find every single excuse to talk to his girlfriend, to talk to Nicole Kessinger. Notice those were the same excuses that he found every single time that the investigators were at his house and they were looking for him, trying to ask him questions. They're like, Chris, hey, where's Chris at? Oh, there he is. He's outside on his phone. Surprise, surprise. Who is he talking to? Nicole Kessinger. Yeah, every time that the cops were trying to find him, he was outside. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Were you looking for me? Oh, yeah. Do you need me for something? I'm sorry, is something going on in my house? What are you people doing here? Who are you again? Oh, you're the police? I'm sorry, who's missing? Oh, my family? Oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, what do you need from me? Oh, really? Is that what you need? Yeah, no, I don't even have access to her bank accounts. I only have her password, but I don't know any of her usernames. Isn't that weird? He was pretending the whole time. How ridiculous. Somebody who doesn't have you don't have the username, but you have the passwords. Isn't it the other way around? So dumb.
Why he didn't choose the separation or divorce, I don't know. I don't know why that is. He blames it on a lot of different things when you
I
talk
want
to
to
him.
get back to the new theories. If somehow, and again, is all Shanann, Bella, and Celeste's fault that he murdered them.
Yeah.
To Dave Mack, the preparations for the gender reveal party. Now, theories emerging that pushed him over the edge. That is not a motive for murder. Tell me about the receipts that you have reviewed.
Well, Nancy, the receipts for this gender
That is
reveal
crazy.
party show that Shan'ann Watts was really planning a big day. Again, remember, we got 50 people coming. A custom cake has been ordered. Cookie arrangements made in specific arrangements of cookies so that
50 people. That's a lot of people for a gender reveal party. I mean, this was going to be big.
it'd be just that much more exciting. You've got the flowers. She ordered very specific flowers to be spread throughout this party
Yeah.
area. Decorations, supplies. She purchases food for all of the guests. The party was planned for August 19th at the Watts.
August 19th. Let's go ahead and pull up our calendar. August 19th. So August 19th would have been okay. All we have on August 19th is Jim, right? Nicole Kessinger talked to Jim that day. But yeah, he murdered her. So let's go ahead and look at the actual month. So Chris Watts murdered his family on the 13th. The gender reveal party was on the 19th. Let's go ahead and add that to the calendar since we didn't have that. And it does help just to see whether or not there was a true timeline a true deadline to where Chris had to get rid of his family. And it looks like there was. Yeah, it looks like there was. So it had to have been done before the gender reveal party. Again, right? My opinion, speculation, I believe that he was pushed to kill his family before they got back and before they got settled into their family life again. This is what I think that Cheryln Cadle is talking about when she says that Nicole Kessinger pulled him, right? Because she did. She pulled him towards her by making it to where she was the priority always. And since Shanann was gone for 5 weeks, she was his priority. And she was not going to give that back. I don't believe that Nicole Kessinger was okay with spending the entire month of July with him and then having to go back to sharing him with his actual family. I don't think that Nicole Kessinger would have liked that very much. Let's continue.
Family home there in Frederick, Colorado. But Nancy, again, remember the dates here. August 7th, Shanann is spending $860
Yeah,
on all
the
of
day they
this
got back from North
stuff
Carolina.
for this reveal party. She's stoked, man. This is their third child. She doesn't know that this baby is going to be a boy. They don't know that. That's what the gender reveal party is all about. It's on August the 7th.
Well, she knew. She knew.
After she's gone through all of this, that Chris Watts says, I don't want another baby. And then
Well, they did know, right? So that part, by that time, they already definitely knew. They definitely knew that they were going to have a baby boy. And here, let's just go ahead and pull up the. Here we go. So on July 14th, on July 14th, this was the post that Shanann posted to Facebook. July 14th, bought baby Watts' first outfit. So they already knew that they were going to have a boy, but the gender reveal party was really just the party. It was just to make it official. So they did already know. So I just wanted to make that correction here because they got that part wrong.
That's when she starts putting everything together. And within a 24-hour period, it goes from, I'm having a gender reveal party. We're no party, no nothing. This is over. That's a huge, huge turnaround.
I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning last night because we were out of town together and we were on the way back from the airport. And she's having issues and she's pregnant. And I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning. And I've gone to her house and her car's there and stuff like that. But she won't answer the door. She won't answer phone calls. She won't answer text messages. And I'm just really, really concerned. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning and she didn't go to it. And I don't know what to do. I called him and talked to him and he said that she went on a play date with her other 2 daughters. But like if she went on a play date, they're both in car seats. Why would she not be in the
exactly.
car?
And yeah, and what play date? Like what play date did she go on and with who? That she didn't even mention it. Again, this is a spouse. If you've been in a relationship with someone for very, very long, they know your friends. You can't just say, hey, I'm gonna go out with my friend. Okay, what friend? And you have kids. You're not gonna tell anybody where you're taking your kids, and Chris was supposed to be okay with that? I don't know. She told me that she was taking the kids to a play date. I don't know who, though. It's probably someone I don't know. How are you okay with your wife taking your kids to someone you don't know? None of it made sense. So inconsistent. Exactly, Emily. The dumbest lie ever. How can you not know?
Your girl. Did they leave after that? So she started hurting the kids.
Okay, so
I can't stand to watch that part of the interrogation because Chris knows he's being filmed by the camera, right? He knows that there's a camera in the corner. So he calls for his dad and he's like, yes, and I had to kill her. And then Ronnie's like, you don't know what now? You don't know what now? Did you hurt her? And Chris is like, cameras. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, Ronnie's like, oh, Lord, son. We need to get you a lawyer. And that's when Chris is like, oh my God. So ridiculous. I cannot stand to watch that part because you can tell that he's lying and he doesn't want the camera to capture him. He doesn't want the camera to capture him telling his dad that he just annihilated his family. But, Ronnie is the one who's like, huh? What now? I can't hear you, son. Speak louder, son. What did you say? You killed your family? I'm sorry, I can't hear you, son. Speak louder, son. And Chris is like, oh, God, Dad. Yes, I did. But Ronnie doesn't get it. He's like, oh, son, I forgot my earpiece. I can't hear you, son. You can tell Chris is like, oh, God, Dad, please. The cops are in the other room. They're listening to everything you're saying. Oh, my God. Thank you so much, Eric Issa. I appreciate you. Everybody, don't forget to give a like and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, if you like this live stream, please go ahead and like and subscribe. But yeah, let's continue. This is getting crazy. It's getting deeper. I've never heard him blame anybody, right? Oh, I have heard him blame everybody, but I've never heard him blame an event other than the lazy dog, of course. But other than, oh my God. I guess we've heard it all. We actually have heard it all from Chris. I'm not surprised. Let's continue.
Dave Mack, there he is blaming Shan'ann for the murders, the disappearances of Bella and Celeste. Did you hear that? She hurt them. Then I freaked out on her. And then the detective says, okay, well then where are your girls? Did they leave?
Yeah.
I mean, they're what, 2 and 3 years old? Did
3
they
and 4.
leave after that? And then Watts just shrugs. He, even after murdering her, is blaming her.
Yeah.
First, it's the gender reveal party's fault. Now she's the one. that hurt the children?
Yeah.
It is the
And that's the thing. That's a valid question. If he killed Shan'ann supposedly because Shan'ann hurt the children, then why did he stuff his children in oil tanks? If you love someone, you're not going to stuff them in oil tanks. That is not how you dispose of bodies. Even if you're nervous, oh, Chris Watts is like, I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, Dad. I guess I just had to shove them into an oil tank. 8 inches in diameter. They didn't even really fit. I just didn't know what to do. Again, it makes no sense. Why? Why would you do that to the bodies of your children?
most ridiculous blame game, but Chris Watts has never taken any kind of responsibility for anything he's done, Nancy. It's always blame the girls, blame Shan'ann. He even goes so far as later on blaming the girlfriend. So yeah, he's blaming this murder that took place. He's blaming by claiming that Shan'ann, claiming that the wife he murdered, carrying a 15-week-old baby in her belly, is that she was abusive towards the girls, and that's why he had to take her out. It was all her fault. Boggles the mind that he could even say that out loud.
So let me just follow through Chris Watts's claims that Shan'ann is really the guilty party again.
Oh, God.
So is he claiming that Shan'ann tried to hurt the girls, so he attacked Shan'ann? Then how did 2 little girls, Bella and Celeste, ages 2 and 3, end up stuffed down oil cylinders in the oil fields of Anadarko, where he, Chris Watts, worked?
Exactly. Exactly.
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
No shame.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Shan'ann was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in the pajamas?
Shameless.
Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably flew away in the wind or something right here.
Probably, he
Straight
says.
out to.
I probably put him here. What? He knows exactly what he did with those blankies. He goes inside his house and starts saying, oh, the girls never go anywhere without their blankies. Yeah, that's because they didn't go anywhere without their blankies that morning either, because he snuffed the life out of them with the blankies. I can't stand to watch him lie like this.
A veteran and renowned chief medical examiner joining us tonight, Dr. Kendall Crowns. Dr. Kendall Crowns is the, as I said, chief medical examiner in Tarrant County. He is an esteemed lecturer at the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU. He is a star of a hit new podcast, Mayhem in the Morgue. Dr. Kendall Crowns, all of this because of a gender reveal party, that pushed him over the edge to a triple murder of his wife, his 2 little children, and the unborn baby boy, Nico. Describe what happened to the little girls.
Oh, my goodness.
So each little girl, the older one is Bella, the younger one is Celeste. They appear to have been smothered. Bella, the younger one, I think was smothered second. She actually has more injuries to her inside of her mouth. She bites her tongue. She bites the sides of her cheek. I think it's because she saw her sister be smothered by her father first, and she knew what was coming, so she struggled more. Usually with smothering cases, when you have an adult and a child, they'll pinch the nose and cover the mouth, or just cover the mouth and nose all at once, and then hold the pressure there, and the child will suffocate from lack of oxygen within a couple of minutes. And then once they were dead, he then shoved them into the oil tanker, and each child has abrasions on their body from actually being shoved through this small opening in the oil tanker, and it kind of tearing or rubbing the skin as he's pushing them down. So it probably wasn't easy for him to shove them into the oil tanker as well, and he caused damage to their bodies after he had killed them.
What do you
do that in the time that he had? Look at this hole. It actually looks big when you see it from this angle, right? It kind of does look big. It's 8 inches, but even, I mean, look at the inside, right? Like, this is a little misleading. It kind of looks weird, right? Because this looks like it's 8 inches, but the inside, I don't know, is the inside also 8 inches? Because there's this thing sticking out, right? So if he killed his daughters and he had how much time? How much time did he have to then stuff his children into these oil batteries? And he had to manipulate their bodies in a way that they can fit with only minutes before his coworkers arrived. So even getting rid of of Bella and Cece was time consuming. It was as time consuming as digging a hole for Shan'ann. Oh my God. How did he do this? How can someone just completely dissociate and put their own child down a hole this small and then hear them hit the oil, close it up, and then just, I'm hungry. Also, I can't wait to be with my mistress. Oh my God. This is pure evil.
Through this small opening in the oil taker and it kind of tearing or rubbing the skin as he's pushing them down. So it probably wasn't easy for him to shove them into the oil tanker as well.
No, it
And he
wasn't.
caused damage to their bodies after he had killed them.
What do you mean he caused damage to their bodies after he killed them?
Well, when he's pushing them through that small hole, their bodies probably weren't fitting really well. And then as they were pushing through the metal of that opening, it caused scraping and abrasions of the skin, but it happened after death. So they get this kind of tan yellow appearance on them. And that's from the body being dead, heart's no longer beating, and it's pushing up against something as it's being shoved through that hole.
Did he have to stand on them? I can only imagine. I mean, if you're using your body, right? If you're using your hands to stuff your children, that would take a lot of energy. I wonder if this sick psychopath stood on top of them and used his whole body weight, his boot. Remember, the guy showed up with old boots. He showed up with the boots that he no longer wanted. He got brand new boots. Even that, okay? He showed up with the old boots to be able to kick his children, stomp them down into an oil tank. It is so crazy that people still believe that this man is somehow the victim of something. This is so crazy.
I find this photo, while accurate, to be a little misleading.
Yeah.
Dr. Kendall Crowns, if you look at it, it looks much bigger than it is.
Yeah, it does.
Because it was not wide enough to put the girls in there, even vertically, and it tore the skin off of their arms as he shoved them down into it.
I agree with you. Even in this picture, it looks like it's got an 8-inch diameter, so that even the larger child, the older child, was probably harder to fit through. He probably had to manipulate the arms in some way and then push or even stick his foot on top of the child's head as he's pushing the child through that hole. It wasn't going to be an easy process to shove them in there.
Oh my God.
What happened to Shanann, Dr. Kendall Crowns?
So
he said it. He said it. He said that maybe he even stood on top of them and used his foot to stomp them down.
the children were smothered, which is basically hands over the nose and mouth until they die. Instead, she was strangled. There's bruising on her neck. There's bruising on the muscles of the neck as well. So he placed pressure on her neck, collapsing the jugular veins, carotid arteries, and then causing her not to get oxygen to her brain. But he manually strangled her with her hands until she died, wrapped her in a sheet, and then buried her in a shallow grave where she laid there for several days decomposing.
We are showing you the shallow grave where Shanann Watts was buried in the same oil fields near her two little girls. Dr. Kendall Crowns,
2 days she was in the oil fields.
So coffin birth
Oh, they're getting into coffin birth.
Dr. Kendall Crowns, what is coffin birth?
So coffin birth is what happens when the body is decomposing, gases form, and these gases form in the abdominal region, in the soft tissues, and they cause swelling of the skin. Well, in the abdomen, the gases are forming and creating this pressure in the abdomen with the intestines and the stomach. It all starts pushing down on the uterus, and
Oh,
that forces the baby in the uterus out through the vaginal canal and basically makes them give birth after death. And it's
yeah.
just basically the pressures from the decomposition gases causing the fetus to be expelled out of the uterus.
I
This is
just
so
don't get it.
gruesome.
I don't get how now, even in death, Chris Watts is somehow blaming Shanann Watts and a gender reveal party.
Not
Joining us
surprised.
now.
Not surprised that the man is blaming Shanann. I mean, have you heard the parents? Have you heard his parents? He's not the only one blaming Shanann to this day. Or who knows? I hope, hopefully, they've changed the way that they see their son by now, I hope. But in the very beginning, they were still so gung ho, right? In Chris's word, oh, gung ho. They were so gung ho for their son.
Now, a veteran defense attorney who shot to fame in his coverage of the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial. It's Mark
Oh.
Pepper joining us out of South Carolina. He is the founder of the Pepper Law Firm. Mark, I don't think this would ever work in a court of law. I frankly don't understand why Chris Watts did not get the death penalty, because it's
Same.
triple murder. Plus, if you count the unborn baby, which in a lot of jurisdictions you do,
Yep.
that's 4 dead people. What, were they just not valuable enough to seek the death penalty? But that said,
Exactly.
the gender reveal party made me do it, Mark Pepper. I mean, even you might have a hard time selling that to a jury with a straight face.
I tend to agree. That would be a tough one. When we're talking about motive in these types of instances, the prosecution is looking for the why. And everything that we've read, is pointing towards, and really what he wrote in his own book, right, is pointing towards
Right.
this gender reveal party. Now, if true, well, that would be more akin to some type of manslaughter charge, where in the heat of passion,
What?
you got upset that there was going to be this party you didn't want to host, didn't want to have, and so
What?
you kind of snapped. Well, they didn't go down that manslaughter route.
What?
Wait a minute. Somebody correct me if I just misheard. Maybe my earpiece isn't working, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I heard Mark Pepper,
What?
who is a veteran defense lawyer, say, well, there's his defense. Voluntary manslaughter. He didn't want to have the party.
Can
He
you
didn't
imagine? Can you imagine that is your defense at trial? I snapped. I don't want to have the party. I'm too introverted. Oh, no. There is no way I could have made it through that party. I had to kill everybody. What in the world? How is that a defense? Oh, I don't like the colors that she chose. Blue is not really my favorite color. I like beige. Hello? The reason she chose blue is because you were having a boy, not sand. Oh my God. And who is this defense attorney? Who is this guy saying, yeah, that defense, if it would have held up, it would have been manslaughter? Who snaps? Who says, oh, I don't like the colors that you chose for my birthday party? Kill everybody. No, this is not how it works. No, this is not how any defense works at trial. You cannot convince a jury that a man snapped because he didn't like the gender reveal party. I don't like that you bought the snacks from Costco. You couldn't go to King Soopers. They're a little bit cheaper. You could have used your membership. Saved 17 cents. You could have saved 17 cents on those carrots. What in the world? What is this guy saying?
To have a party.
That should have been his defense.
That is not a defense. Mark Pepper, you've won a lot of cases, and I'm pretty sure that in your jurisdiction, South Carolina, snap is not a defense. I snapped. I snap 50 times a day, but I don't kill anybody. Snap. That's the name of a show on Oxygen. I snapped. Snap is not a defense, Pepper.
No, it
Well,
isn't.
but Nancy,
Who snaps? Everyone snaps 50 times a day. Even Nancy Grace. To this day, she has not murdered anybody. How is this? Who is this man? That should have been his defense. If I was his lawyer, that's what I would have said. Wow. Wow, some people are just out here doing it for the money. They're like, yeah, I don't care. Any type of defense. What do you want? You didn't like the colors, okay? You didn't like the snacks, okay? You didn't like that she didn't save the 17 cents. She didn't use Groupon. Okay, yeah, those are all manslaughter charges. What in the world is this? Yeah, exactly. He didn't snap. It was planned. What do you guys think about this? Let's go ahead and stop here for a second. Let's talk about this. Because this guy is a goof. He's definitely goofy. What do we think about this? This is insane. I've never heard any defense attorney say that he could have said that this was manslaughter. He could have pled not guilty by reason of gender reveal party. I'm not guilty, Your Honor. She picked blue. I don't like blue. I like beige. Wrong B. What? Yeah, didn't use Groupon. Yeah, didn't use Groupon. Like, come on. Yeah, a week later, he snapped. I mean, come on. The guy's been knowing about the gender reveal party for weeks. And he snapped the moment he saw the receipt and saw, you went to Costco? You had to renew the membership. That was $50. Come on. So absurd.
Snap is an element of manslaughter. In the heat of passion, you didn't want to go to this party, you snapped. And so you went out and committed these heinous crimes. That is
Go
manslaughter.
sit
That
in
should
the
have been
effing
what he was
car.
convicted of.
Go for a drive. Go to Wild Wings and watch TV and have some wings.
Yeah, go to the Lazy Dog. Go to the Lazy Dog. Go to the NASCAR museum. Go back to the sand dunes. Go play in your backyard. Do something, but don't murder your family. This guy is crazy. He's definitely crazier than Chris Watts. Who comes up with such a defense? Oh, he snapped. The date was coming. He was very, very anxious about it. He's very introverted. You have to understand. He just snapped.
Whatever you want. But do you have to kill your wife, your two little girls, ages 2 and 3, and the
3 and 4.
unborn baby boy? Now he's talking to his mistress.
Ages 3 and 4. Why does she keep saying 2 and 3? I mean, this case has been out for what, 8 years now? Almost 8 years, and we can't even get the ages right. It's 3 and 4.
It's about she wants to have his first boy. You know where she can stick that, and it's where the sun don't shine. I want to have your first baby boy, knowing he's still married, but she's not my problem. He's my problem.
Oh my
Mark
God.
Pepper. Now listen, you have to get renewed every.
Nancy don't play. Yeah, exactly, Tammy. Nancy don't play. Yeah, she can stick that right up where the sun don't shine. Did you hear that, Nico? Did you hear that? Yeah, even Nancy Grace is saying it. But hey, she went ahead and said, hey, you know what? Nico Kessinger is not my problem. He is. And yeah, that's because we're listening to what he's blaming it now, right? We know Nico Kessinger was involved, but this is Chris Watts blaming it on yet something else. He blamed it on all these events. He has blamed it on so many women. And now he's like, it was the gender reveal party. What's next? What is he going to blame it on next? Oh, I didn't want a Fire Stick. I wanted an Apple TV instead. Oh my God.
every year, right, by the South Carolina bar. Now, what are they going to say when they hear you claim, I didn't want to go to a party? Is the defense in triple murder? I didn't want to go to the party?
Yeah.
So I had to kill everybody throwing it?
That is
What?
100%.
The thing is, he didn't even have to go to the party. Just don't go. Just don't show up. You don't have to go if you don't want to be there. Oh my God.
Dear Lord in heaven.
That is what we well, that's manslaughter, Nancy. If I was recommending anything to my client, I would say we're not pleading guilty to murder. This is a quintessential manslaughter case where there could be a number of different instances where obviously this party caused some type of heat of passion to come over him, and he absolutely snapped. That is the definition of manslaughter. If I was representing him in Colorado, that would have been our defense. We would have pled guilty to manslaughter all day long, but I never would have advised him to plead guilty to murder, because what motive was there? What motive could there possibly have been to do this to your own children? It's akin to a lot of the cases we see around here where it's not the
This guy he's joking, right? This guy's a clown. He's a full-time clown, part-time wannabe attorney. What in the world is this man saying right now? Well, he didn't have a motive. He didn't have a motive, so this is akin to manslaughter. He just didn't want to go to the party. That is the motive. He didn't want to go to the party, so he snapped. He annihilated his party, or he annihilated his family because he didn't like the colors that she chose for the party. How is that? That makes no sense. The motive here, right? The motive was another woman, a mistress. That is really the only reason that Christopher Watts wanted them to go away, because they were an obstacle. That is the most common sense thing here. Not that he didn't want to go to the party. I don't want to go to the party. I am too upset. Let me just kill my whole family before this party gets thrown and I have to interact with people. Oh, I'm just way too introverted for that. So you kill your family? This is crazy. This is so crazy. Dragon Onion, thank you so much. To me, let's see. Oh, why isn't it? There it is. All right. So Dragon Onion says, to me, the snapped defense doesn't work 6 days before the party. I could maybe understand the day of and the stress. Exactly. But 6 days? Very well said, Dragon Onion. Exactly. 6 days before the party? No way. No way. If we're looking at the calendar, right? We're going to look at the calendar. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Where did it go? It went somewhere. Oh, it disappeared. Like it always does. I'm like, where do these things go? Oh, here it is. Okay. So if we're going to look at the calendar, Chris Watts annihilated his family on Monday, and then the gender reveal party was on Sunday. So how did he snap? He would have snapped exactly like Dragon Onion said. He would have snapped on the day of, right? Because he wakes up and he realizes, why is the entire house covered in blue? Baby blue? That's not my favorite color. I don't like this very much. I'm getting very upset. And then he decides to annihilate the family. No, but what? He snapped a whole week before? That makes no sense. That is a very, very weak defense. I wish he would have taken it, though. At least we would have gone to trial. Let's continue.
The job of the defense to explain away their actions. The burden's on the state. And if you have a valid reason where you just lose it, that is the quintessential defense of manslaughter, and that should have been the deal.
What? Did you just say a valid reason to, quote, lose it, which is also not, and another thing.
Yeah, what?
Mark Pepper.
How is that a valid reason? How is not wanting to go to a gender reveal party a valid reason to kill your family? What is this guy on something? Is he losing it? Does he need a little help?
Or could you please stop saying the word snap? Because it's making my ears bleed. They're bleeding. Because you know, and I know, I snapped is not a defense.
Yeah.
You just also said.
Preach.
And they always use this example in law school, and I wish they would quit. And now I'm perpetuating it by using it myself. Voluntary manslaughter comes with heat of passion, anger that's uncontrollable, such as, here's the example, a man comes home from work and finds his wife with another man in bed. They always use that. The wife's always the bad person.
Yeah.
That said, so he shoots them both dead. And a jury's supposed to believe, well, she had it coming. He was so angry he couldn't control himself.
I know.
You're equating your wife planning a gender reveal party and going to Costco and buying cheese trays and fruit snacks. That is the legitimate, grounded reason that he, quote, lost it because his wife went to Costco? Seriously?
Yeah.
Are you really saying that?
To decide that, Nancy, the reason for the heat of passion, the reason for losing all control.
What is he going to say?
It doesn't have to be a legitimate one. That is up for the jury to decide. My
What?
point is that, be it you come home in the law school example and your wife's cheating on you, and in the heat of passion, you take an act. That's just the same under the eyes of the law as someone planning a party
No.
that you do not want to attend, that you did not approve.
Okay, what the defense attorney is saying is very much what defense attorneys do. Yeah, he's definitely saying, it doesn't have to be legitimate. It doesn't have to be valid, but as long as we can convince a jury of 12 people that it was valid, then it's valid. Can you imagine what a dangerous precedent that would send, or that would set, if people just started murdering people because they didn't want to go to a party and that was a valid defense? That is dangerous. What this man is claiming here is batshit crazy.
In his mind, at that time, that was the issue, then that's a legitimate defense for him to at least pursue the manslaughter lesser included offense, which is what I would have recommended. Now, that being said, when you're looking at 3, 4, I guess it was 4.
I mean, you can pursue it all you want. It doesn't mean you're going to win. I don't think you can convince 12 people that the reason he killed his family was because he didn't want to go to the gender reveal party. How do you defend the deaths of 2 baby girls? How do you defend that?
4 death penalties. All right, well, then maybe you start changing courses and you try to remove that by pleading guilty to murder. But at the end of the day, the valid defense, the legitimate reason could have been a manslaughter charge under the lesser included offense. You go to trial on murders. The jury is given the murder to consider, but they're also given the lesser included offense of manslaughter, an act in the heat of passion that essentially drove you to commit these crimes. That should have been, and very easily could have been, his defense.
The guy speaking clearly has no idea that Chris Watts murdered Shan'ann at 2 a.m. when she got back from Arizona. So how did he snap at 2 a.m? Shan'ann got back from work. She was not planning any gender reveal parties at that time. She was getting ready to go to bed. She was tired. What, Chris snapped as soon as she got back home? This is so absurd. All of this is just so ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
Okay, he's actually saying this apparently with a straight face. And it's kind of like if Mark Pepper says it over and over and over enough that we're going to believe it.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm looking around here in the studio and everybody's starting to actually nod their heads yes. I don't know what happened to you people. But that said...
Not us, guys. None of us are like, oh, I think he's got a point. I think I would have snapped too if they didn't have my favorite color at my party. I don't think any of us is saying that. Just because Mark Pepper wants to say it doesn't make it true. He just wants his cash.
Let me throw another wrench at you. Mark, as in the Sean Puffy Combs case, where the feds said basically to the states, you failed, and they take over the case.
Yeah, not us.
Of Sean Puffy Combs. We also see that happening in the Luigi Mangione case, where the feds are conducting a dual prosecution at the same time as the state. In this case, is there any way the feds can intervene and seek the death penalty on Chris Watts? Because Colorado, we're talking about the death penalty, Colorado doesn't have the death penalty.
Nope.
You can basically kill as many people as you want to there, and you're never going to get the death penalty.
Nancy, don't be giving any people any ideas, please. Please don't be giving people ideas. Yeah, Colorado got rid of the death penalty. There's no death penalty anymore. There's still life in prison without parole, but you can't be sentenced to death anymore.
Unless the feds intervene. What does it take for the feds to intervene? Oh, I thought of another one. They also intervened on Jared. Remember Jared, the subway pitch guy?
Oh, ew.
They intervened on that as well
Gross.
because he crossed state lines with the purpose of illegal.
Oh, no.
So that's just 3 off the top of my head,
So
and there are
disgusting.
many more. Why can't they intervene in this, Mark Pepper?
Yeah, they can, Nancy. And another one is the Michael Slager case involving Walter Scott. The feds came and took that charge over here in South Carolina. So you're right, there's many more examples. The answer is with a stroke of a pen, they could come and take it over. There's nothing preventing them from doing it and seeking the death penalty at the federal level. But the reality of it is that there's a lot more politics involved than simply the stroke of a pen, especially in a midterm year such as this. It is possible that the federal government, the DOJ, could come in and say,
wait a minute.
Double jeopardy does not
What do you
apply.
mean? The feds won't intervene because you said it's at midterm. Are you throwing this into the political pot?
Yes.
The cesspool of politics?
Absolutely. We see it all the time.
Exactly. We've talked about this on this channel before. I've said it. I think that the most logical explanation for Nicole Kessinger not being fully investigated is that DA Rourke was in the middle of getting reelected. I've always believed that the most logical explanation was politics the whole time. The bureaucracy, the paperwork, how people are going to actually find Chris and allegedly Nicole Kessinger guilty on all counts, right? There's so much involved in politics, and I think it's the most logical reason for Nicole Kessinger allegedly getting away with whatever she was involved in. I got a super chat that yes, I did. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Appreciate you. Rox, we all appreciate how much time and effort you put into the live stream. Thank you. You're spot on. Love your sense of humor. Aw, thank you so much. Celebrate, celebrate. Everybody, let's celebrate. Yeah, you guys. I'm so glad that you guys like to hear my, just my craziness, all of my ADHD moments. You're just listening to a crazy lady speak. This is really just me. This is how I am with my cats. My cats can't stand me. Sometimes they're like, oh my God, you have way too much energy. It's 7 a.m, lady. They just want to get fed. And I'm here like dancing. I'm like, yay, it's Tuesday, everybody. My cats are like, is our Chewy order in the front door? Can you go grab it for us? Stop dancing. Okay, we're hungry. And yes, it did so happen that their Chewy order was actually outside. Oops. But they're fed. They're fed. They're fed. I'm alive. Elliot didn't, he woke me up yesterday with a death stare, but he didn't gouge my eyes out. So that's because I fed him. Let's continue.
All the time where objective decisions are overridden by political vendettas. Certain things such as who's in charge at the DOJ under the current presidency, such as who's running the AG's office or the United States Attorney's office in Colorado. Politics play a part in these things. They shouldn't, but the reality is they do. The DOJ could come in and say, stop what you're doing. Double jeopardy doesn't apply here because under the Pettit waiver, we're going to go to the DOJ. We're going to make sure that this guy gets what he deserves. And the feds at the DOJ, we believe he deserves a death penalty. There's nothing preventing them from doing it. I'm just simply making the point that sometimes it's not as easy as the objective decision to take pen to paper and seek it. There are lots of other reasons, mostly political reasons, that we don't see that done as often as probably it should be.
Another thing, Mark.
I've always suspected it, guys. I have always, and many of you have too. We've just always suspected that politics was involved here. I mean, think about it. The work that would have had to go into doing a full investigation. I mean, look at what we've done on this channel, right? And this is not even enough, right? I don't even think that we are even close to having a full case laid out. But the deep dives that we have done even on this channel, right? It has taken a long time. And this is just one person and with the help of you all with links and information that you have. But this is the police. They had full resources. And even then, they still thought, you know what? It's going to take too long. The resources that we have might still not lead to a fully guilty charge. So there's a lot that played into DA Rourke choosing not to do a full investigation. It was a lot easier for him to just offer a plea deal and have Chris admit to killing everybody and just, calling it a day. Easy case, easy win. He's in prison, case closed. That was a lot easier than for them to go down all of the investigation, all of the rabbit holes, having to gather all of the information that Nicole Kessinger deleted from her phone. That would have taken years, and it would have gone into DA Rourke's election year, which, of course, at the end of the day, I believe all they really care about is winning elections. And the best way to win an election is to win cases. And the best way to win a case is to do it as easy and simple and fast as possible. And that is by offering plea deals. But you guys let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think. That is my opinion. That is just, based on the evidence, I think it is the most logical reason for why NK wasn't fully pursued. Let's continue.
Pepper, is that this was no big surprise to Chris Watts because his wife was fighting lupus and very, very difficult for her to conceive. Hold on, Mark Pepper from the Pepper Law Firm in South Carolina. Dr. Kendall Crowns is joining us, Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County. Dr.
Yes.
Kendall Crowns, what is it about lupus that makes it so difficult for women to conceive?
So lupus is an autoimmune disorder in which your immune system attacks your own body tissues, your muscles, your joints, and even your uterine lining. So when it is attacking the uterine lining, it makes it a hostile environment for the implantation of the fertilized eggs. So women with lupus often struggle with fertility issues because their immune system is basically preventing them from getting pregnant.
Shan'ann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
Okay, well, if you got it back right now.
He knows that he messed up so badly, so he takes off his microphone. He's like, am I done now? Okay. God, he's so dumb.
At that point, you'd have to dig him up out of the shallow grave where Shan'ann had coffin birth to your son, Nico, after you put her there. And you'd have to get the two little girls out of those cylindrical oil containers where you crammed them down, rubbing the skin off of their arms.
Oh, my God.
Can I see that one more time from our friends at Denver 7?
Shan'ann, Bella, Celeste.
Again.
If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
Look at all the unnecessary movement. Shan'ann, Bella, Cece, just come back. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please come back. He's so ridiculous. Or are they going on break? Yes, let's go ahead and fast forward. We are back with Cheryln Cadle.
If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody.
Very sickening.
Who is this man?
Yes. I want to say something.
Even Nancy is like, just bring everybody back. I need to see everybody back. Just bring them back. Are they alive? If they're alive, they're going to come back, right? I think so. But if they're not, they might never come back. But if they are, please come back. Yeah, even Nancy. I do love her sarcasm as well. Let's continue.
Something, if I could. This was not a moment of passion that he killed Shan'ann. I have letters. I would like for you sometime to see my letters, Nancy, from him.
Ooh.
I have letters where he tells me what he did. And he says when he put the girls to bed that night, he knew that was the last time he would be kissing his babies goodnight because he was going to kill them. Yep. He had been planning for 2 weeks how to do this. He told me that he took them to a birthday party the day before, and he laid at the pool while the girls were playing in this little pool. He laid there daydreaming in his head what he was going to do to his wife and children.
Yeah.
This was not a moment of passion at all. He knew what he was doing. He planned what he was doing.
Yeah.
I have it in his own handwriting.
Exactly.
This was not a manslaughter. This was a cold-blooded murder.
Calculated.
Cheryln, Cadle, hold on just a moment. I've got to go to Mark Pepper on that out of South
Oh,
Carolina. Mark,
please.
did you hear that? I would bring on
I did.
Cheryln Cadle.
Who's this
State's
guy?
witness maybe number 3. Because this gender reveal party pushed me over the edge is total BS, technical legal term. Because he writes in his own handwriting that he planned it lying by the pool getting a 10.
I love the technical legal term. I use it a lot, and I'm not a lawyer. I use that technical term all the time. This is BS. This is straight BS, guys. This is batshit. Yeah. Nancy Grace agrees. Absolute batshit craziness. Yeah, what do we think? Yeah, surprised Watts is still alive. Amazing. Yeah. Money, money, money. Exactly, Hurt Locker. It's all about money at the end of the day. Money and power and elections. What else? Oh, thank you, Jan. Thank you. So glad to see you at our live stream. Yeah, Thrive really helped her. Yeah, he was so nonchalant about this case on his wife's podcast. The DA is a POS. I have not watched that podcast. I would love to listen to it just to see what they say, but it's very hard with them because they're very, very litigious. No surprise there. I mean, he's a district attorney after all. Let's continue.
Well, and I appreciate that. With all due respect to your guest, that's evidence that may or may not have been entered into the trial of this case. That's what the rules of evidence allow. Now, I understand statements against interest typically are allowed in a case against the defendant, but again, the foundation would have been laid. We simply don't know whether that evidence would have been admissible in a murder trial, candidly.
Oh, dear Lord in heaven.
What?
Are you going to try to say something, Mark Pepper, like that's not his handwriting? Right. Cheryln Cadle, just such a liar, isn't she? She's
Yeah.
gone to that jail and listened to this guy whine for
Yeah.
hundreds of hours. I don't know how she stood it. I think I do know how she stood it. Mark Pepper, have you ever hung out the laundry before you had a dryer? We did, hanging out in the backyard with those clips, the clothesline, just right here. She'd have to hold her nose to listen to this guy. You know what? I'll ask her. Cheryln, did you hear that? Mark Pepper thinks your letters from Chris Watts should be attacked on authenticity.
Nancy is on
you
it.
hid under the blanket on your bed with a flashlight and wrote the letter so nobody would find out.
Well, actually, they have been validated as being real. I have the
Nancy.
envelopes that they came in, the dates they were mailed, the dates correspond with the letters. His handwriting is very recognizable because he writes every girl and female all over the country who's got little love letters from him. Said that they're not real is just so far from it. There's no way they would hold up in court. My letters are definitely the things that
Okay,
he
you
said
you just gave me a
over.
whole nother wave of nausea, Cheryln Cadle. Dr. Geraldine Utter, did you hear what she said? Love letters from women all over the country.
Yeah, this isn't a new concept. We've seen this with serial killers like Ted.
Nancy is funny. Nancy is a funny lady. I love how sarcastic and real she is. She just calls it how it is. Oh my God. She does have some funny one-liners. I will give it to her. I do like that she calls out this Pepper guy because what he's saying is so insane. Someone needs to call it out. So I do appreciate her for that. Even though she gets a lot of the information wrong and a lot of the facts are just off. But other than that, I do love that she's snarky. I do love the snark.
Ted Bundy in the past, where even Luigi Mangione, like people become kind of enamored, and Wade Wilson's another one. Women become enamored with, the bad boy type or whatever you want to classify it or call it, and that's strictly fantasy world. Clearly, these women don't understand or appreciate.
Oh wait! Could you just hold on, Dr. Geraldine? I'd like to ask the control room in New York to please search their conscience. Why are you showing what you obviously think is a hottie shot? Take that down right now. He is not hot. He is not sexy. He's a killer. He killed his wife and his
God.
children and his unborn baby. Okay, Dr. Cheryln, please go ahead.
She took down that hottie shot. She's like, I don't want to see that brown bathing suit on him. I would have at least put the top on him on that picture. But yeah, I love it. I love that she calls it, no, do not show that photo. It's obviously you think it's a hottie shot. I don't. Take him off. Yeah, he's a murderer. I don't like that photo either, especially because of his face. He's just like, right? He just got caught and he's like, I'm going to prison, aren't I? Yeah, but people think it's a hottie shot.
So what I was basically just trying to say, Nancy, is that it's a commonality. We see this with other serial killers. You have Ted Bundy, you have Wade Wilson, you have this gentleman, Chris Watts. People become enamored with quote unquote the bad boy.
Did she just call him a gentleman? You have this gentleman, Chris Watts. What in the world? That is the one thing. It maybe was a slip up. Maybe she's just like, oh, the gentleman. No, he's not a gentleman. He's not even a man.
These folks or these women do not realize that they're actually talking to somebody with who's a psychopath, more or less. And, you know, they're exchanging, they're entertained. It's a form of entertainment. They haven't been afforded the opportunity to see who these people really are. Another thing that I just wanted to mention, Nancy, as I'm listening to all this and a crime of passion and all, this was very clearly premeditated and planned.
Yep.
Let's not kind of, you know, dismiss that in any type of way. He planned on doing this, and then Cheryln, you know, obviously confirmed that.
Yep.
But what I want to call out is it's not like he snapped all of a sudden and then decided to do this. This is a personality type of presentation that's been with him for a very long time, since he was, you know, a younger person or whatever, meaning he doesn't have the capability to truly love.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the capability to be remorseful. And when you have a personality organization that way, when you can't empathize, when you can't, you know, be sympathize, and when you can't truly love, it makes it very easy to do what he did. And that's the part that we really need to pay attention to.
Yep.
This is someone who way before these murders, and, you know, he was never violent before, but that doesn't discredit the fact that this is somebody who is incapable of true emotional connection to another human being. Anyone, his daughters, his son, his wife. So that's something I think we really have to pay attention to is, yes, it happened probably when he was in his 30s, but this is who he has been throughout his life.
Yeah, his whole life. Exactly. Preach, girl. Preach. Oh, that was perfect. Is that the end of it? Oh, no, it is. Oh, that was the end of it. That was perfect. I love that she basically, I mean, in a nutshell, Chris was this awful human being his whole life. His whole life. The reason that he was able to get away with it, or not get away with it, the reason that he was able to just commit this vicious crime is because he never truly loved his family, because he's not the kind of man who feels empathy. Yes, this happened in his 30s. It just so happened that at that point in his life, he ended up committing that crime. But it could have happened anytime before that. It could have happened maybe when he was 40. The thing is that it was always in him to be able to do this. And that's what she brings up here, which I thought was perfect the way that she put it. It's that it's not that he showed any violent tendencies. He wasn't abusive. There was no DV involved, right? And that is why he was able to almost get away with it, because he was basically hoping that people will see the kind of person that he was. Oh, he's incapable of doing something like this because look, he's never been abusive. He's never been violent. And that is what makes him so dangerous. It's because he wasn't violent, then he was able to do this because he was faking it the whole time. So, oh my God, I love that at the very end. Who was this? She's a clinical psychologist? Her. Amazing. I love that. Very, very well put. Well, that's the end of it, you guys. After that, there's just, more stuff. But yeah, that's the end of it. What did we think about this? That was crazy. everything from what the defense attorney was saying, that it could have been a manslaughter charge, which I don't agree. And if this was taken to trial, we would have seen at the trial that this was premeditated. Very, very clearly. He did not snap when Shan'ann arrived from Arizona at 2 in the morning. I mean, who snaps at 2 in the morning? You should be sleeping at that time. Why are you up? Why are you riled up over a party that is going to happen a week from now? Oh, I hate the colors that she chose. Come on. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, guys, yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this. Chris Warts. Oh my God. AJS Dream, Judy, you're so funny. Chris Warts. So now we have a Chris Twats and Chris Warts. We have 2 names for the guy. I love it. I love it. More, please, more. Give us more. Yeah, I mean, insane. From the defense attorney to what Chris Watts is now claiming. Oh, it was the gender reveal party, guys. That's why I murdered my family. Oh my God. Everything except taking blame and responsibility for what he did. Oh my gosh, I'm like knocking stuff over. My cat isn't even here. I guess I'm getting into the mentality of, oh, I'm going to get up and go snuggle with my cats next. So, but yeah, anyway, yeah, Chris farts. You guys are so funny. Yeah. Oh my God. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for joining today's live stream. This was fun and it was very educational. We learned a lot. We learned more about the timeline. We were able to see when the gender reveal party was supposed to happen. We were able to see the receipts as well, which is very, very important, especially for our timeline. So yeah, thank you all so much. Thank you for the suggestions as well. I appreciate it. Yeah. And I will see you all tomorrow, Friday, for our regular 11 a.m. live stream. So hope to see you all. Chris Twat Waffle. Yes. Thank you, Love Buzz. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, Chris Twat Waffle. All right, we have lots of names now. So, hey, any one of those, we can just go ahead and they're interchangeable. So, whatever we want to call the guy, Chris Twats is so funny. Thank you, Can't Say. Thank you so much. Well, thank you all so much for joining today's live stream. Thank you so much for the chat, for your opinions, for your funny jokes, for all the names, and I appreciate all the super chats. Very special thanks to my moderators. Thank you guys so much for the work you do. Thank you so much for our heckler today. And yeah, very special thanks to my members and thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to everybody. Thank you all. I feel like I'm giving a speech right at the Academy Awards. I just want to thank everybody I know. Thank you to all of my very first subscribers, everybody. And my cats, of course, they give me the energy. They do. Elliot wakes me up every morning and he's like, feed me, lady. And that's when I'm like, oh, I have to get to work because I have to feed him. Look at my baby. Oh, he's so emaciated. Oh, I do it for them, you guys. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye, guys.